Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Sinners. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This movie was directed by Ryan Coogler. So, let's talk about him. He hasn't made too many movies. I mean, he started out with Fruitvale Station, which I remember being quite good. He then went on to make Creed, the spinoff of Rocky, all about Apollo Creed's son Adonis Creed, and Creed was a strong hit. Made over 100 million domestically, 174 million worldwide, spawned two sequels. So yeah, Creed was very much a hit, and then he'll go on to make a much bigger movie in the form of Black Panther, where Marvel was like, hey, you want to make a Black Panther movie? And he was like, all right. So that's what he did in 2018. And to say this movie did well is an enormous understatement because this movie was a goddamn phenomenon. I mean, look at these numbers: 700 million domestically, 1.3 billion worldwide. This opened to 200 million in February of all months. Yeah, February destroyed every February record that's ever existed. Like, it was crazy. Like, this movie, people thought, oh, it opened with like 100 million, but then as the weekend went on, it just like ballooned. It just got bigger and bigger. Like, it was madness. And it was number one for like 5 weeks, and yeah, like this movie raised Ryan Coogler's stock price like significantly. So yeah, I mean, Black Panther, that did wonders for his career. And then he would go on to make the sequel, Wakanda Forever, in 2022, which didn't do as well. There was a bit of a drop off between this and the first one, but that was to be expected. That's like expecting lightning to strike twice. Like, the chances of that were really slim. But that man did bad. I mean, 453 million domestically, that's nothing to sneeze at. And it make like 859 million worldwide. So these are still like good numbers. I mean, they're not like incredible numbers, but they're still very strong. And now here we are with Sinners, his first, big original movie. So this man has yet to miss at the box office. His track record is like sublime. So yeah, I'd say his, Ryan Coogler, is a pro here. So we're gonna move on to another pro. Is that his very frequent collaborator in the form of Michael B. Jordan? In this movie, there's two of them because he plays twins in this movie. And you know what? You know something? I know something really interesting. So that the last few months, I've been seeing quite a lot of movies where one actor plays dual roles. I mean, you have Sonic 3, where you have Jim Carrey playing as Dr. Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik. And then you have The Monkey, where you have Theo James playing like two twins. And then you had Mickey 17, where you had literally 18 Robert Pattinsons in the movie. And then you had Alto Nights, where you have Robert De Niro playing two different roles. And then you have Sinners, where you have Michael B. Jordan playing twins. It's just a little something I've noticed in the last few months. Just thought it was interesting. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, most productive collaborators, Ryan Coogler. Yeah, well, yeah, duh. This band's been in every single movie from Ryan Coogler. They're literally the new Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese like combo. Like, seriously. So yeah, so Michael B. Jordan. I first recognized him from like Chronicle, a super duper underrated movie, and then he did Fruitvale Station, and then the awkward moment. No one really remembers that. And oh god, Fant Four Stick, the one real blemish, serious blemish on his record. It wasn't even his fault. Okay, it was not his fault. Yeah, Fan Four Stick was a catastrophe, critically, commercially, It was one of the reasons why the whole Disney Fox acquisition even happened in the first place. And yeah, it is considered one of the worst superhero movies ever made for a good reason. And Michael B. Jordan, he was not at fault for this. And like, I think I remember when he was like cast as Johnny Storm. I know, I know if that happened today, all the internet would have like a conniption fit. But this was like in 2015, so the reaction wasn't as bad. More people just like, huh? There wasn't like any vitriol surrounding it. But yeah, Fan Four Stick was a huge mistake. Good thing he had Creed in his back pocket. He was able to bounce back very fast. And then, he was Killmonger and Black Panther, who was widely considered to be one of the MCU's best villains. And then Creed 2, and then Creed 3. And it doesn't show it here, but he did pop in Black Panther Wakanda Forever as part of Shuri's, I forgot exactly what it was called. It was kind of like a vision or something like that, where he popped into her head. So we can count that as like another collaboration with him and Ryan Coogler. Um, but yeah, he's had some like misses, but they're like movies that like no one remembers. Like A Journal for Jordan, like who remembers that? Just Mercy did like, I think it just did okay. Yeah, just okay. Nothing great. But yeah, like his only like real like serious bomb is Fan Four Stick. So yeah, but he's very much a recognizable face. No question about that. So yeah. I'll label Michael B. Jordan as a big old pro here. There's also other people in this movie too. I mean, another major name is Haley Steinfeld, who's known for not only her music but also in movies like True Grit. That was like her breakout role. There's the Pitch Perfect movies like Pitch Perfect 2 and 3. She was the voice of Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse movies. So that's significant. There's also Bumblebee, and people definitely know who Haley Steinfeld is, either from like seeing her on screen or hearing her voice. People know who she is. And who else do we got here? Anyone like super significant? Jack O'Connell. Okay, he was in Unbroken. Oh, he's gonna be in 28 Years Later. That's cool. Let's see. Blah blah blah. I recognize Unbroken. I recognize, I think, Money Monster. He's made like a supporting actor type of guy, but he had a main role in Unbroken, which was like a surprise hit when it came out Christmas of 2014. There's 300 Rise of an Empire. I'm not sure if anyone even remembers that. I kind of do, for like a really sick scene that happened in the movie where like I think it was Eva Green's character, like she decapitated a dude and then kissed his decapitated head. Yeah, I remember that. That's of all the things to remember, that's the one that's stuck in my brain. Yeah, you got him, Omar Benson Miller. I know who he is. And he hasn't really been like too many movies, but I know he was the voice of Raph in Rise of TMNT. I know that. I very much know that. So yeah, Lee John Lee. Has she been anything? Oh, Babylon. I actually watched Babylon recently. Yeah, I after years of like thinking about it, I decided to go for it. And I watched all 3 hours of it, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I mean, it was super ambitious, which I will always respect, but it's a movie. It is quite chaotic. That's the general consensus. It's chaotic, and I got that feeling watching it. And there's some parts of the movie that are just fucking disgusting, and like it was just a wild ride. I'll just say that. But yeah, she hasn't been like too many movies. So I can't really judge her track record too much, even though Babylon was a flop when it came out. But yeah, who else do we have? Uh, let's see. The Delory Lindo. I think I've heard about him. Been anything significant? Let me see. The See, I see Malcolm X. See Ransom. I see Gone 60 Seconds. The Core. Oh, no one likes the Core. The One. That was like, yeah, that was with Jet Li. I think I only know that movie legit, unironically, has a killer soundtrack, in my opinion. But yeah, not too many movies here with Delroy Lindo. No, this Miles Canton. This is actually his first movie. I found out. So, and after seeing the movie, I'm like, well, damn, this kid has a bright future. But yeah, we got some recognizable faces in here, so I'll label that as a pro. Another big pro, reviews, just general reaction. It's goddamn spectacular across the board. I mean, 98% critic score, 97% audience score, A cinema score. These are hot, crazy high numbers. Like, you don't take that lightly, like, ever. So, yeah, people who have watched this movie adore it. And I'm one of those people because this movie is honestly my new favorite movie of the year. It was able to beat out Companion. So Sinners is my new number one movie of the year for very good reason because it is that damn good. So yeah, word of mouth is legit. Word of mouth is through the roof, and that is a enormous pro right there. So universal like acclaim. I'll label that as a pro. Another pro is that this movie has, of all the movies coming out this weekend, this has by far and away the most buzz and attention. Of all the movies coming out in April, this has the second most amount of attention, only behind a Minecraft movie. So, like, that definitely benefits this. And, and I gotta say, Warner Brothers, man, they really turned things around because in March they embarrassed themselves not once but twice with Mickey 17 and Alto Knights, both flopping hard. In April, though, has been the polar opposite. Like, a Minecraft movie has done spectacular. Sinners is projected to open with solid numbers. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, just like the fact that of all the April movies, that's the second most amount of attention. I'll label that as a pro. Another pro is that it's Easter weekend. So that means Friday numbers are going to be better than average. So that'll help this movie out. So I'll label that as a pro. I guess another pro is that there hasn't been too many movies recently that really target like a black crowd. We haven't really had anything like that since like One of Them Days, all the way back in January, which that movie did solid business. But this movie is like it looks and it feels a little more like a blockbuster, in comparison to like One of Them Days. So, yeah, I think some pent up demand for like, you know, for a black centric movie. I think that will help this movie out. So I'll label that as a pro. And I think another pro is preview number is 4.7 million. That's not bad for like an original movie, but I'm not sure what I can really compare this to because it is a vampire movie, but I guess there's Nosferatu, but that didn't have preview numbers, so I can't really compare it to that. But I guess sometimes with like other horror movies, I mean, I could compare it to some of Jordan Peele's flicks, like Nope and Us or stuff like that. I mean, I guess I can compare it to Nope, but yeah, Nope. That I can show you. See, that had a preview number of 6.4 million. Grant, that came out in summer, so it's a bit of a bit of an advantage there. But yeah, sure, it's not like Nope or like Us. I think it was like 7 million, but yeah, 4.7. Like that's not a bad number for a movie like this, for an original movie like this. So I'll label that as a pro. And I think that's it with pros. When it comes to cons, there's not really much I can say in terms of anything that will hurt this movie. I guess the fact that, this movie is like a huge test for Ryan Coogler because it's unlike Creed and Black Panther, this isn't, reliant, this isn't like, it doesn't have the advantage of being based off an existing property. This is wholly original. So that's a test right there. So it's kind of like Christopher Nolan with Inception, because Christopher Nolan, I mean, I know he made some movies beforehand, like Memento and Insomnia and Prestige, but he was mainly known by the public for his Batman movies. So Inception was like a departure from that. And, obviously, Inception ended up being like a massive, massive hit. So Sinners is kind of like Ryan Coogler's like Inception in a way, like his chance to really prove himself that he can make a big movie without relying on IP. So, yeah, but that's not really a con. It's just more something to note. In terms of actual cons, I can't think of anything. There's no horror movies coming out till I think Final Destination Bloodlines, and that's not till like mid-May. So this movie has time to play out. So yeah, I can't really think of any serious cons. So opening weekend, last I checked, this is projected to hit like 40 mil, which for an original movie is like fine, but this movie costs like $90 million, so it needs to have some staying power, and I'd be shocked if it didn't have staying power, judging by word of mouth. But this was like yesterday. There's a chance the number could really like go higher if like, because that's what happened with Minecraft. That thing just like it went up, 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 and up as the weekend went on because it gained momentum, and this could gain momentum too. But we'll see. But I guess I'll go with 40 to 45 million. I guess to have like a range, 40 to 45 million, and then its total. It should have really good legs. If it doesn't, I will be stunned. um. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have a wide range, 120 to 160. I think that's a wide enough range for this. For this. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, that's Sinners. We got two more movies to talk about: Sneaks and A Wedding Banquet, and then we're done for the weekend. So yeah, so that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. You'll check out more videos like this. Got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year, the past few years. You won't watch any of those videos, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. My March recap, I'm planning on doing that later tonight, like super late at night, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. There's also box office, no, but the canceled series where I went over all the movies that was supposed to come out but didn't. Never talked about Sinners, like ever. Maybe like in passing, but never made a video like on it directly. But there's 250 episodes of Canceled, so if you want to watch any of those videos, you want to binge watch that whole series, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.